On the edge of Mexico City, a landfill known as El Bordo has become a place of survival. Among mountains of discarded plastic and metal, street children trapped in addiction and families with nowhere else to go search for anything that can be recycled and anything that can be sold. Many live without running water or electricity, in conditions no one should endure. For Craig Johring, Danny Ledger, and the team at Hope of the Poor, they're not outsiders. They call them family. Founded by a man who spent 8 years working in the dumps, the mission is simple: bring hope to those who feel forgotten, feeding families, helping them find work, supporting rehabilitation. More than 120 families have been helped so far, and every day they serve over 250 homeless people outside the Basilica of Our Lady of Guadalupe. They brought that mission to Rome, sharing it with Pope Leo XIV during a general audience.
I would spend part of my day helping the kids on the street. Eventually I moved to being full-time and just doing that full-time. But the first group of street kids that I was able to make contact with, I was able to be accepted into their community, and they began to trust me, and I brought food to them. And I just cared for them and just loved them unconditionally. And it was an amazing experience. What I've done over the years is to help the kids to start to go to school and to give them school uniforms, school supplies, and so that they could go to school and have everything they needed to get an education, because the way out of the landfill is for the kids to get an education. And then eventually they'll get a job, and then they'll be able to support their family to leave the dump. When people are valued, they're loved, and they're appreciated, and they're given a place to live out their life with dignity, they begin to believe in themselves and begin to think that they can do something more than what they're doing. I think that people change when they're believed in, and that is just fertile ground for people to just be all that God is making them to be. And today many are working full-time jobs after just a year, after starting being on the street, and today they're out of the street, out of drugs, and working a full-time job.
Do you think they will come back to their communities and try to make a change themselves?
Oh, absolutely, because I believe the gospel works when people give it away. Almost all of my staff are former drug users. They're people who grew up as street kids on the street. They survived, and now they've left their addictions, and they and their families are off the street and now working for Hope of the Poor to help other people. In the past, it would take me a year or 2 years to build trust with someone. Very quickly we build trust, because the people who are doing outreach are people that were on the street, and they speak the language of a person who's on the street, and they can give a testimony of their life change and really give hope to someone on the street that they can change.
Their work continues to grow. Each year, around 450 volunteers from the United States travel to Mexico with Hope of the Poor. One of them is Danny Ledger, director of Hope of the Poor in Omaha, who says the mission is both practical and spiritual, and often leads prayer through music.
It was so powerful for me to just walk with him to the poor, and to see, like, as people walked by on the street, they would look at us like we were crazy, because we're just there with the street kids at an intersection, and we're just there with 2 chickens and some hot sauce and some tortillas and just hanging out with them, sharing a meal. But really what we were doing is building trust with them, so then we could help them have a new life. I think a lot of people want to serve the poor, and they don't know how. We want to build trust, and then we become friends, and then really we become a family.
Do you remember any story, a person, a face, somebody whose life has changed because of this project?
I think the first person that comes to mind is Luis. He's one of our street kids, and I remember, because I am not down working with Craig full-time in Mexico. I go down periodically, and so all of a sudden I go down and there's this scary looking guy with face tattoos and he's hanging around. And I look at Craig and I'm like, who's this guy? Like, and he goes, it's okay, he works for us now. And, you know, as he was working with us, he started to have like a deep conversion and it came into the church. And as I go down, I see his spiritual growth. And now he's leading all these other street guys and helping other people get off the street. One of the things that inspired me most is I was down there just a few weeks ago, and he had started a Bible study in the rehab center with the people that we had taken off the street and brought into the rehab center. He's there every day leading a Bible study with his other guys that work on his team for Hope of the Poor. And it's just so beautiful to see his transformation and growth. I don't think there's anything more powerful, though, than bringing people to encounter Christ in the poor.